Hey everybody, welcome to the Learn to Swim Levels with Mr. Miller through our virtual recreation this summer. Today we'll be bringing you level 1 swimming skills. Now the biggest thing to remember with level 1 swimming skills is that everything can be done with assistance. You don't have to have your young swimmer do any of this stuff on their own. Everything can be supported as you go, and I'll be showing you different tips and tricks to help you with those this year. Okay, I posted the level 1 swimming checklist for you to reference, and I'll be working through that during this video just to give you some things of what they should look like, what things can look like, and ways to help your young swimmers this summer. Okay, now the first thing with level 1 is entering and exiting the water safely. Now this obviously can be done through the stairs, through the side, or through a ladder. Okay, now with the stairs, if you remember from the water safety, we talked about entering backwards. We always want to enter the pool backwards. That way if we do slip and fall, we slip into the pool, which is a lot safer than slipping onto the cement or concrete behind you. Okay? Once we've done that, whether it's hopping in from the side, anytime we get in from the side, we always want to be sitting on our bottom, sliding into the pool. Okay? Next, we want to make sure that we're always swimming back to the edge. So once we enter the pool, we get used to going right back to the edge and holding on. Anytime we jump in from the side, slide in from the side, we're always turning around and going back in, and that just becomes sort of ingrained in your mind that young swimmers want to reach for the side. Okay? Now, once we're in the pool, we've got some things to warm up. The first thing we want to do is we want to blow bubbles for 3 seconds. Now, this is going to get your young swimmer used to having water on their face. They don't have to submerge the entire head. It can simply just be blowing bubbles with the mouth. And you can kind of make it a game, make it fun, see how who can blow bubbles for the longest. But 3 seconds is all that's needed to sufficiently pass this level. And again, if you can get used to getting the face line into the water, that's even better. If you want to move from that, submerging the whole head. Next would be a bob. And a bob would necessarily require the entire head to go underwater. And again, 5 bobs, holding the breath. We do allow for plugging the nose, but that is one of the things you're trying to break a habit of as you go out, is to breathe throughout the nose as you go under. And going under 5 different times, okay? After that, we have opening eyes and retrieving a submerged object. Now it can be any object. They don't have to be all the way to the bottom of the pool. A lot of people think that it needs to be hitting the bottom to be a submerged object. You could simply just hold it out in front of you. The key is to get your young swimmer to go under, open their eyes, be comfortable with that, and retrieve the object with their eyes open. A lot of swimmers will use goggles and things, and that is okay. We do not encourage you to use full goggle face masks, ones that cover the nose. We actually don't allow those through SOTUS Recreation. And the reason why is if we did have to perform CPR on the swimmer, it's hard to get those suction cup nose pieces off. So we do encourage just the eye goggles, which you can purchase. Okay? So holding this cup out, letting a young swimmer reach for it under the water. If you want to go a little bit more advanced, again, you can put it all the way to the bottom. This pool is about 4 feet deep. You can obviously go deeper as you go, 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, and they can work up to that as they go. Okay. The next one would be our front glide and back glide to a recovery position. Now this is starting to get us used to swimming out and recovering from that swimming position. A lot of times we'll want to teach the proper technique. So for a glide, you want hand over hand, and you want your arms pinching your ears. You want the chin to the chest, and that actually will get them used to a diving position, which we'll get into a lot later on. Okay, but all these things will reinforce these small techniques which you can see reiterated as we keep going through these swimming levels. So hand over hand, arms to the ears, chin to the chest, and we just want to kick off from the side. No grabbing, no kicking with the feet, just a simple glide to try and stay as straight as possible. You can support a level 1 swimmer, so if they're not quite used to swimming yet, or if they have a bubble or a buoyancy vest on, that is perfectly fine. And so they want to try and go 3 to 4 body lengths out in front of them, and all they're going to do is stand straight up. So it looks something like this. And recover to a standing position. Same thing on the back glide. The biggest thing is getting their head back into the water. We talk about stomach up to the sky. Again, hand over hand, pinch the ears, head back, and then recover to a standing position. And those would be our front and back glide to a standing position. Again, both of those can be done with support from a parent or family member. Our next is our back float for 5 seconds. Now that is also done very similar to a back glide. Head is back, stomach is up, and there's different tips you can try to get your child to float a little bit easier. Their arms can be out, their arms can be up, their legs can be out, their legs can be apart, their legs can be bent. And you may just have to kind of play around with what works best for your child to make them most comfortable floating. There is a natural position that they're going to find that is the most comfortable with them doing a back float. And you want to just find that natural position where they feel comfortable and they can float for a while. Again, you can do that with support. However, with a back or front float, something you want to work towards is getting them comfortable and then slowly removing that support for them to show them that they can obviously float on their own. And that's something that you want to make sure that you're comfortable doing with your young swimmer and that they feel comfortable with you doing as well. Okay? The next one is our roll from our front to our back and then back to front. And that's simply a front float, roll over, back float, roll over. And however they feel comfortable doing it is fine. A lot of times we talk about rotating the arms, okay, either way, which will get them to roll and roll back. And that's all we're really looking for. Front to back to front, and then recover to a vertical position. Looks something like this. Next one is our treading water. Now, we'll get into different tips and tricks for treading water, different types of treading water. For this, it's whatever's comfortable. You can use a waving motion, a rotary motion, whatever they feel comfortable to just keep them up, treading water in a specific area for about 5 seconds. Okay, and it just kind of gets them used to doing that. Obviously, be very close to them. Should they need support, have them reach onto the side or a hand, and that will help them as they keep going forward. The next one is our alternating arm and leg action on the front. Okay, and this is simply getting them used to what the strokes will be like as they move forward. Alternating arms are arms that reach out, often known as the doggy paddle. It doesn't have to look anything like a front crawl as long as they are using alternate arms and alternate legs. Alternate legs look something like the flutter kick. It is fine if it looks a little splashy, if it breaks the surface. We will work on that as we go to stroke development. This is just getting them comfortable with doing it. Now, one of the things we like to do at times to break this apart is to isolate the arms and the legs. And so what I've done here is I've just taken a very cheap pool noodle and I've cut it to about shoulder length. And this can be used as a arm anchor, so that way your child can hold on to it in the front and just use their legs. And it can also be put in between the legs so they can just use their arms. Now, we'll use this tool a lot throughout the different course of the summer, so it's something that you could think about investing in to really help your child swim. Alternating arms and legs on the front, and the same thing we're going to do on the back. Again, the back is sort of getting us used to doing our back crawl or our elementary backstroke. Alternating would be back. And again, it doesn't have to look anything like a back crawl. It can be this, whatever they want. As long as they're on their back, you can use support and alternating legs. As long as their legs are going opposite. Okay? Now, after that, we work on simultaneous arm and leg action on the front and on the back. There are different strokes that require arms to do opposite, alternating, and there are some strokes that require simultaneous, that the arms do the same thing. So we just want to get them used to that in the pool as our first introduction to swimming levels. Okay, so it can look something like this, where the arms are doing the same thing. A lot of times we talk about a frog kick. A lot of them understand how frogs look when they swim, and that's sort of the intro to our whip kick. And so you can do alternating arm and legs on the front. You can do the same thing on the back. And that will give you a sort of intro into those steps. Same thing can be done with the pool noodle, isolating just the arms, isolating just the legs to get you to work on those skills. And then finally, we put them all together. So if you've worked on just the arms, you've worked on just the legs, you've done simultaneous, you've done alternating, you can then do combined on the front, on the back, and it's whatever they feel comfortable with. A good goal would be to get to the point where you can do all of those, alternating on front, alternating on back, simultaneous on front, simultaneous on back, that they can do 3 to 4 body lengths, and that will just help them as they go through the course of the swimming progression. Okay, as always, if you have any questions, let us know. We'll see you next time.